So this is where it happened in the garden last night. I kind of lost my cool mentally. I just got really down on myself. I had a hard night and I just became overwhelmed by the work that I've put into this garden and the little that I have to show for it, I guess. And I started thinking about all the other things that I don't have a whole lot to show for. And so I started getting really down on myself. I started thinking about how after all these years on this channel, I really haven't seen much growth. I haven't got a lot of return for it. And I started thinking about the other business venture that I recently started and how I haven't seen much growth in that in anywhere besides myself. In the business end, I haven't seen any growth, or I haven't gotten really to help anybody else, but I've seen what it's done in my own life. And then I started thinking about how I just felt like a failure and got really down on myself. I started crying and throwing a mini tantrum. And I know my channel, I'm pretty much always rainbows and butterflies, and I'm generally an extremely happy person. I'm very optimistic. I'm glass half full, but everyone has their moments, and so I'm deciding to share one with you. But if you can see, like, some of the vision of this garden that I have is starting to come together, but it's so slow. And right now the tiller's down, so I haven't been able to till. And over there you can see where I've got some leaf pieces to serve as mulch, and it's working great. But then my chickens got in here and started digging in there because they want bugs, and that just made me crazy. And I'm like, I want my chickens to be free range, but they're getting in my garden and they're going to be digging up all the mulch that I have. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm going to get a fence together. I need to just put a makeshift fence because the fence that I have so far is obviously not finished. And so I was getting down on myself about that. So I was like, well, I'll just put up a makeshift one. And then part of it fell over, and I just felt like, okay, I'm just a failure and everything I do is just crap and I should just quit. And that's really what I felt like. It was hard. And my husband, he tried to encourage me and tell me, you said that things take time and this just takes time. And bless his heart, he was being so sweet, but I just wasn't really having it. And I was just still being hard on myself. And then later that night I was rocking the baby and trying to get her to sleep, and she just wouldn't settle and just crying still. And I finally turned her around. I was looking around the room at what a mess it was, and I was just like, I'm a crappy mom. I can't even keep the house clean. My baby's crying and I can't soothe her. And I was just like, I'm a crappy person and a crappy mom. That's what I am. Just beating myself down, And so I finally turned around and I started rocking the other way. And the whole time I was doing this, I knew I shouldn't. That this is, Satan talking, and I shouldn't listen to that voice, and that God has greater things for me, and I should call on Him. But I just didn't want to. I wanted to keep beating myself up. So I look in the shelf next to me, and there's only one book on the shelf. It's like completely empty, except for my drink, and then one book on the shelf. And so I pick up the book to read to the baby, and it was this little Noah's Ark book. And so I read the first page. It said, God told Noah to build an ark. He worked hard for many years to build it. And it was just like God was just put this book there for a reason and had me pick it up and read it for a reason. And it was just like, he was just telling me, like, daughter, things take time. Cut yourself a break. The work you're doing in that garden, it will come to fruition. And the work you're doing in the businesses you're trying, and on YouTube and on the new business venture you're doing, just keep at it. It will work in the end. And I know God will work all things for my good. But it's just, we live in such a society where we want quick results and quick return and all of that, and especially my generation. I grew up with a microwave in my house. I grew up knowing I can have things like that. Food within 30 seconds will be hot. And I think people my age, we want things to happen so quickly. Where some older generations, they know that good things take time, and you just put in the work, and over time you will get your return for it. And that was just God reminding me through a little children's book that he worked for many years to build it. And I don't know how many years Noah built the ark. I meant to look it up before I did this video, but I didn't. But I mean, can you just imagine working on something for years? And I know the whole time he was working it, people laughed at him and thought he was ridiculous because it hadn't rained forever. It was just a drought, and just people just laughing and mocking at him. And God told him to do something, and him not even know if it was going to really happen or not. And to put in all of that work, blood, sweat, and tears for this huge boat for years. And it did happen. The flood did happen. The flood came, and he was prepared because he listened to God, and he just worked throughout those years. And it was just such a blessing from the Lord. And I just wanted to share that with you. Maybe this will bless somebody else out there, or maybe this will bless me next summer when I go through this whole thing again, or next spring when I'm like, this garden is still not where I want it to be. And I'm pulling out my hair and just beating myself up because it's still not there yet. I know that this garden will take years, but I know when it's done, or when it's where I envision it to be, it's going to be a beautiful sight to see. And so that's my video for today. Nothing fancy, no intro or exit screen, but just raw emotion and what I went through last night and what God showed me about hard work and just trusting him. So, little children's book blessed me immensely last night. So, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for supporting me in my channel, and I love you, and God loves you so much. And when you're going through hard times, don't listen to the devil and what he has to say to you and beating you down and all of that. Just turn to God, listen to him, work hard, do right by yourself and do right by him, and he'll do right by you. All right, God bless. See ya.